I'm Dan Morris, you're watching Bosun Dan Bushcraft, and today is another horrid, rainy, soggy day. Not to worry, as a couple of days ago I was nosying around an antique fair and found myself this. A lamp! Shocker, right? This is a DIETZ Junior Model 20, and it is also one that is not yet in my collection, and it is also one that is a direct copy, basically, of a Chelwyn Far East. Now, DIETZ company, they are American. A bit of history for you here. R.E. DIETZ & Co. is a lighting product manufacturer best known for its hot and cold blast kerosene lanterns. The company was founded in 1840 when its founder, a 22-year-old Robert Edwin DIETZ, purchased a lamp and oil business in Brooklyn, New York. Famous for well-built indoor and outdoor kerosene lanterns and a major player in the automotive lighting industry. Marvellous. I have seen on cars lights that do bear the DIETZ logo. Now, it's an original lamp to me in the sense that I don't have any other DIETZ lamps in the collection as yet, so I couldn't resist it. Although, ordinarily I wouldn't have touched this lamp had it have been one that I'd already got, because she has been damaged. Unfortunately, at some point it's been dropped and sustained quite a punch on the noggin here, which has pressed it all down and all the metal's cracked and it's come through, and it's also bent this cowly flangey bit up here. Now, ordinarily I wouldn't touch them when they're damaged like that, but she does have a few redeeming features. One of which being the fact that it has clearly never really been lit before. It has, if we just pull it bits a little bit here, take this glass out. I don't know why with these things, there's always dead moths in them. I don't understand why. Anywho, this one has never been lit. It's clearly just got the stain on the wick from basically where it's had its factory burning, just to say that it's okay. There's just the slightest browning to make sure. They test them in the factories to make sure that the cowls are working correctly and, you know, it's doing what it needs to do. So that has clearly only ever had its factory lighting, and then it's just been sold, and it's not done anything since then, which I have to say is, it's not uncommon for particularly the lamps that I find, and the reason is that a lot of the time people buy them or bought them back in the day as a backup. So they bought them, put them in a store cupboard, the idea being if the lights ever go out, they've got these as a backup. You know, back in the day, a lot of people didn't really trust electric lighting very much, so they'd always have backups, and these things are a lot safer and more reliable than candles. Now, shake any dust off it. The tank inside is just so clean. I don't suspect that this one is a particularly old lamp. I don't think it's got a massive amount of age to it, but you can see it's absolute crystal clean. But you can also see on the top where the little tie flaps that are holding the lid on the top there, it's been hit and it's pushed them all through it. So what I need to do is straighten all that out, get the cap off, try and straighten the arms back up and do something where all of this has split. Unfortunately then, it's time for some tools. Let's get some equipment out. So, excuse me. Do we have smooth jawed pliers? There we go. Yep. Little pointy jobbies, they're smooth jawed as well. Excellent. Oh, magic. And that's an empty box. Don't really need the box. instruction manuals. Men don't read instruction manuals. Magic. Lovely. Something keeps making a flappy noise in the background in this garage, and I'm pretty sure that the kids have dropped one of those robot fish somewhere and it's flapping about. So there is the source of the random flapping noise that keeps happening. What's left of a robot fish? Shut up. That quietened it down. Anyway, we don't need that fish. So what I am going to need is this little blowtorch, and the reason, it's very stiff today, the reason that I'm going to need the little blowtorch is the metal on these lamps is very thin at best anyway. They're not exactly massively over constructed, to be fair. So what I'm going to have to do is, before I can really straighten it all out, I'm going to need to get it pretty warm. Yes, this may damage what's left of the paint up there, which is otherwise pretty well intact. It might do a little harm to that, but the choice is, I worry the paint a little bit, or they might snap, in which case I'm then welding, and this is very thin metal. Right, well, that little blowtorch might be good for soldering. It's absolutely useless for this. I'll be here for 8 years doing that. So this may be somewhat slightly overkill, but get it while it's red. Soften him up. And while it's glowing red as well like that, you're very unlikely to do it any permanent harm. I just want it straight enough as I can get the cap off. I'll worry about neatening everything and getting it better when I've done that. What's leaking here? Right, and that's all the tabs bent back up. I haven't fully straightened them yet. I'm going to deal with that in a moment. You might be thinking, well, you're going a bit mad there with the blowtorch, but you've got to remember these have been bent once in the factory. They've been bent again when it got dropped. If I go and cold bend them again now, that'll be the 3rd time, and then I'll bend them back to close it up the 4th time. Metal fatigue is a killer, and this is thin metal. Keep bending it one way, then bending it the other, it's just going to give up. So now we need to very carefully lift this off the top. Come off. Lovely. Right then, so the good thing with this thin tin is when you've bent it a bit, you can quite easily just bend it straight back with a bit of heat. Now obviously this cowl on the top has taken quite a beating before I got my hands on it. So what I've got to do, just pop him out of the way for a minute. I'll straighten them in a moment. If you look here, you see how that's just not level, is it? So what we need to do is bend that back to something like level, but I'm not going to do that yet, because what I need to do is, you see where it's all ripped and torn, I need to get that back to something like flat. Which is going to be fun, because it's got to be something like neat. And I was hoping to be able to solder those lines up so that it's got a bit more grip. I'll show you what I mean when I'm doing it later on. Right, the heat is only going to get us so far. I keep saying I'm annoying myself with it, but the heat is only going to get us so far, just to stop any immediate damage happening. After that, it's going to be a case of skill and precision tapping. And I'm going to need a bit more light on the situation, I think. There we go. I appreciate that these lamps actually, I think, flicker with the GoPro quite badly. So, and I haven't got anywhere sensible to put it. Ah, that sort of does it. Right. So ideally, because I don't have anything this shape, so I'm just going to have to carefully try and panel beat it back a bit. This tiny little ball peen on the back of this hammer is brilliantly useful. Now, sadly, which is the story for so many of these lamps, usually a drop like this is the end. But luckily with this one, it didn't kill the glass. It's done a little metal damage. I'm no stranger to beating a steel panel or two, to be honest with you. Right, I think that's probably as closed as those bits they're gonna get. Weird thing to do. A nugget there, that's it. Right. Right. That is about as flat as I'm going to get it without ruining it. So you can see we've closed up most of it. It's still quite damaged. Not a lot we can do about that. It was quite badly split, so you know, and it's obviously had a bit of a dink there as well. It's one of them, you know, it looks, and this is why you've got to, when you do see these things, you've really got to study them and make sure that you're getting what you want. I mean, I noticed all of this damage when I saw it. This isn't a surprise to me. I did see, and I did think I can do something with that. So let's have a look-see about cleaning it up and seeing if I can get anything to stick to it to close these gaps up. Hop, 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 hop. I'm not very good with the soldering malarkey. But I'm not an expert. Bit of flux on it. right. That is mostly... It's usable, that is. The sun's coming out. It's raining. Pouring down it was, and now the sun is coming out. Beautiful. Right then, let's get rid of all that sort of stuff we don't need for the moment, and let's have a look at the lamp itself. I'm not at all concerned about the paint on the very cap, because once you light it, that's another reason that you know it's not been lit. It certainly hasn't been used. And you can tell that straight off the bat, because the paint on the top cap never survives. Well, if it is paint, some of them are, particularly the modern ones now, are anodized. Some of them were galvanized. A lot of the Fjordhand were galvanized, and they sometimes you still find them, even the older ones, with galvanizing still intact, which is always nice. So what I'm going to do, and these flat pliers, there's no teeth, nothing to leave imprints or anything. What I'm going to do is just use them to squish this metal back to shape, nice and gently, not using a massive amount of force. We do want the original strength back in this cap, because obviously the little pull tab on the top is not for hanging the lamp with. It is actually, in fact, the glass release. If you were to use the glass release to hang it from, it's not a big deal. The spring's got the power, it's not just going to drop it, but it will make a big smoky mess directly above itself from whatever you've hung it to. Alright, they're basically nice and straight. I'm just going to do a little grinding work where these lumpy solder bits are. Right. Okay. That's fitting. That's not bad. It's functional. It's not the greatest fit ever, but it fits well enough to work, and it's a heck of a lot better than it was. So let's just gently now with these, when you're tapping them home, rather like a cylinder head, work with diagonals and do them sort of a bit at a time. It is what it is. If it's high enough so the chimneying works, then that'll do for us. Right. And it is, all the chimney is exposed, it can breathe properly again. That's all it really needs. So what I want to do now, just finish off these tabs with a bit of screwdriver action and some precision tapping. I don't think we need this blinky light now. I'll just slide myself under here where we've got a bit more light. And now we're just going to gently tap them home. There we go. Now, not perfect, but we knew that. We knew from the start it was never going to be perfect again. Can't be, it's too thin. You'd have to send it back through the press and shape it like that. But all the vent stack at the top, which was all crumpled in and covered, is now open, the lamp can breathe properly, and the glass release works. That is actually a nice solid job. It's not loose at all. Give it a good clean up in a minute, and then it's pretty much ready for the lamp to be cleaned and put back together, get all that scuzz off it. And the only other bit of damage there is there, look. There's just that little knock in it there. I could probably tap that back out as well. Don't think I really need any heat on this one. Bit of cloth in the pliers. Again, this is where pliers that have no teeth on them come in really handy. They won't damage your workpiece. Bit of paint scuff, we don't mind that. Yeah, and there we go. There's that little dent pretty much gone. Gone enough for what I want. All the vents are open. That's all good. Right then, I'm going to have at it with my little Dremel wire brush. Give it a jolly good clean around. Just its grubbier parts. Again, we're not going mad with this. We're just giving it a sensible clean, getting off any flake, any loose rust. Now, I'm just going to give it a bit of a little bit of a sponge bath with some good old antibacterial wipes. No reason at all why you should use antibacterial wipes, it's just that's what I've got. Right, that's clean enough. Also, when it's been dropped, look, it's bent the glass cradle. Pull that straight without too much trouble. The thing is, your glass cradles are never completely level with the glass in them. That's just the way that they are. Pop the wick mechanism back in, because there's something I want to check before I clean the glass. It's just something I want to take a look at, actually. Make sure your two slidey pieces on your wick cowl and carrier are anchored where they're supposed to be. Right, windy mechanism works well, but I think, yeah, that doesn't go up high enough to light it. So at some point, this handle mechanism has also taken a bit of abuse. And flat noses again. Just about, I think, there. That should be, I might just tweak it a little more, but that should be just about high enough. It's no use if I can't get a lighter in there, or a match to actually like the thing. Hey. Right then, most important part of the clean-up, a nice, good, clean, shiny globe. Now, one of the things that, again, like I did say, I very rarely touch any lamp if it's damaged or missing parts. Generally, I can't be bothered, and they have to be working to be part of my collection. I will have nothing to do with broken lamps, I just can't be bothered with it. I can fix them, I can get parts for them, it's just not my cup of tea. But what really drew me to this one, more than the little bit of damage on the top, is the fact that the glass is properly glass stamped DIETZ Junior in it. That is often quite rare to find these lamps with their original factory glass. So for me, with it having the glass that says the DIETZ on it, for the price I paid, the value is there. And I'll tell you straight off, I give 18 quid for this. Chappie pulls it out his little cabinet. I had a look and I says, well, it's had a battery in it, but I didn't even haggle. He says, yeah, I'll give you 18. Because, and I know I said I don't buy damaged lamps usually, but it depends what they are. If it's a Chelwyn Far East or something and the frame's absolutely destroyed, but the glass is in good condition and it's got the proper glass stamp on it, if the price is right, I'd give them a couple of quid just to save the glass. All right. Now, the best thing on the planet for cleaning glass is, of course, a bit of the old blue roll. Blue roll. Right, now, where we've brutalised this glass cradle, let's see. Oh, all right then. Nope, that's absolutely perfect. Does the framework work? Now I've straightened it over with the pull tab. Oh yeah, there's just about enough room to get a flame under there. Let's see. Yeah, I can light it like that easily enough. So I'm not going to brutalise it anymore. And that is the thing with these sorts of things. Never go any more than is needed, otherwise you're just doing more harm than good. Right then, so for the first time in who knows how long, let's get some clean, fresh juice in this thing. Good old liquid gold. Yep. Thinking, Dan, you're such a nerd. Yes, but what better to be nerdy over than lamps? Let's get this cap in. Cap's a bit of a weird fit. I noticed this earlier. Although it's undamaged, it hasn't, you know, it's not bent or anything. What I do like about these the DIETZ lamps is they've stamped them everywhere. There's no mistaking which lamp it's come off. It's stamped all over that it's the maker that it is. Fairly nice quality, I have to say. A touch that I like is the shaping that's gone into the press work on the arms there. They've just ribbed them a little bit. Doesn't really do much, but it does just give them a little more strength and rigidity in the framework. So we shall just let that soak in fuel. It's already wet. Good clean wick in it though. Let's introduce flame. Crank it right down. Now, and with all these, because you know they are only pressed metal, just pop everything down a bit, make sure it's all sitting snug and keeping the wind out. Lovely. Right, so I'm just going to let that lamp warm up. Let it all warm itself up, and we'll come back to it and finish off. So there we are. The DIETZ Junior Model 20. Now in full working order again, and to those who think that might have been a bit extreme, all the blowtorching and faffing about and tapping it, believe me, take my word for it, having the exhaust area at the top all crumpled up like that would definitely have affected how well it burns. It's not going to work right with all that squished. I've tried them before. Now it's doing what it's supposed to. Fairly wind resistant as well. This style is never super wind resistant. They're an excellent camping lamp. They're a great lamp to carry around with lower wind or better weather conditions, but as I've said before, the 275 Baby is about the best as a walking lamp. That thing is nigh on unextinguishable. Yet to have one get blown out in my hand in any weather. But I did say that this is pretty much a copy of the Chelwyn, pretty much a copy of the Chelwyn Far East, which it is. Incredibly similar lamps. There is a Far East to measure it up with. Incredibly similar. Would I say, oh, they've ripped off the design? Probably not. I mean, there's only so many ways you can make a lamp. They're going to be similar at some point. They all work in the same way. Fuel, wick, glass bit, and a frame holding it all together. So... another pleasing lamp because the tank isn't leaking. Always good. Always good. So that is it, folks. We have rescued another one and brought it back to life and usability. So as always, guys, until the next one, get out there, get bushcrafting, get having fun, be safe. Go and find some lamps that you can fix, tinker with, clean up, and put back into use again. Don't be leaving them languishing around antique stalls and things like that. Go grab yourselves a bargain and let's get lamping. And as you can see, all the exhausty bits breathing, doing what it's supposed to, and it isn't that unneat neither. A little charred. It's going to be charred anyway. After a couple of times of using it, all of that will be burned off anyhow, so it doesn't really make any difference. Not perfect, doesn't matter, you're never going to get it perfect. They're simply too lightly constructed, but fully usable and a hell of a lot less destroyed than it was. So that is all from Bosun Down.